Headphones on for best experience in today's video. We will explore Amenmesse was the fifth pharaoh of the 19th dynasty in ancient Egypt. Title: Amenmesse, the disputed king and the silent rise of legacy. Amenmesse. The disputed king and the silent rise of legacy. Amenmesse, fifth ruler of Egypt's 19th dynasty, emerged from an atmosphere of deep royal uncertainty. His exact lineage remains debated, but strong evidence points to him being the son of Pharaoh Merneptah and Queen Takhat. His blood carried the sovereign pulse of the House of Ramesses, yet his ascension would not be clear, unchallenged, or unbroken. Following the death of Merneptah in 1203 BCE, Egypt was plunged into dynastic confusion. The throne should have passed smoothly, but internal court factions, possibly fueled by regional governors, high priests, and military generals, opened space for an alternative heir. Amenmesse. The political climate, division, and instability. Upon Merneptah's death, Seti II, his designated successor, quickly moved to claim power. However, Amenmesse, possibly through support from Theban nobility and loyal factions in Upper Egypt and Nubia, managed to wrest control of significant territories, particularly Thebes and Nubia, ancient lands still echoing with the sacred traditions of the Nubian pharaohs. The civil strife between Amenmesse and Seti II would fracture the once glorious unity established under earlier kings like Ramesses II. Amenmesse likely declared himself pharaoh around 1202 BCE, ruling for approximately 4 to 5 years. Amenmesse's rule, a reign cut in stone. Although Amenmesse's reign was brief and filled with conflict, there are material legacies testifying to his authority. Reliefs and inscriptions in Theban temples, notably at Karnak, were either initiated or usurped under his orders. His coronation name, Menmire Setepenre, established in the justice of Re, chosen of Re, reflected traditional legitimacy, an assertion of divine approval despite contested rule. He commissioned the start of a tomb in the Valley of the Kings, KV 10, although it was left unfinished, later repurposed by others. Amenmesse's government was supported by figures such as Kaimtir, the viceroy of Kush, showing that Amenmesse maintained strong links to Nubia, a nod to the enduring southern roots of Egypt's greatness. Downfall, erasure and vindication. Amenmesse's hold on Egypt was never fully secure. Seti II, regathering strength from the north, mounted a campaign to retake the throne. Amenmesse was deposed, and a swift, ruthless campaign of damnatio memoriae, destruction of memory, was enacted. Amenmesse's cartouches were systematically chiseled out from monuments. His images were recarved into depictions of Seti II or later rulers. His tomb, KV 10, remained incomplete and desecrated. Yet history's attempt to erase Amenmesse only proves how significant he had been. After all, only those who truly held power were subjected to erasure. Legacy, silent greatness. Although Amenmesse's reign was marginalized by later chroniclers, his short-lived control over Egypt during a time of severe instability preserved the southern heart of the kingdom, Thebes and Nubia, from falling into complete chaos. His link to Nubia carried echoes of the ancient Black Pharaohs, reminding future rulers of the southern origin of Egyptian resilience. Moreover, Amenmesse demonstrated that even against a larger claimant, the strength of local loyalty, traditional legitimacy, and swift action could briefly create a sovereign moment of greatness, even if erased from formal records. Conclusion: the power of hidden legacy. Amenmesse's story is not one of obvious triumph, but of defiant existence. He rose in a time of fracture, seized kingship against odds, and despite later erasure, carved his moment into Egypt's immortal sands. Greatness, as Amenmesse's life teaches us, is not measured solely by duration or outward glory, but by the courage to stand when tradition, lineage, and opportunity called. His reign, though brief, kept alive the memory of the South's rightful place in Egypt's throne and reminded future generations that no amount of chisel or rewritten scrolls can fully silence those who dared to rule with rightful blood. Queen Takhat, the silent matriarch of rebellion. Amenmesse's mother, Queen Takhat, played a crucial but veiled role in his bid for power. She was a royal woman of high status, possibly a great wife of Merneptah, or a royal daughter herself, suggested by the title King's Daughter. This gave Amenmesse a legitimate claim from both his paternal and maternal lines. Takhat's Nubian affiliations were vital. Some scholars propose that Takhat's family hailed from southern Egypt or Nubia, regions where royal women traditionally held immense power, even influencing succession. Her influence likely helped Amenmesse gain crucial support among the priesthoods of Thebes and the viceroyalty of Kush. The Nubian connection. A royal pulse from the south. Amenmesse's control over Nubia, the rich lands south of Aswan, reveals deep ancestral ties. Kush, Nubia, had long been the sacred reservoir of Egyptian divinity, with kings seeking legitimacy from the south. Amenmesse's backers in Nubia signaled a renewal of the old southern allegiance, invoking the memory of black pharaohs who had preserved Ma'at, cosmic order, centuries before. His alliance with Khaemtir, viceroy of Kush, solidified his military strength. By controlling Nubia and Upper Egypt, Amenmesse wielded ancient spiritual authority, even if his formal control over Lower Egypt remained precarious. His rule echoed earlier southern revivals under kings like Senusret III, and foreshadowed later Nubian rulers like Pianki. Tomb KV-10, a symbol of interrupted destiny. Amenmesse's tomb, KV-10, lies in the heart of the Valley of the Kings, but its story mirrors his reign. The tomb was left unfinished, with few decorative elements completed. Wall reliefs were started but not completed, leaving raw limestone exposed. Later, the tomb was reused and altered by two queens during the 20th dynasty, Takat, a different royal woman, and Bakatwerel, possibly descendants or spiritual successors of Amenmesse's line. The unfinished state of KV-10 reflects the abrupt truncation of his reign, a sovereign journey broken before reaching full glorification. Seti II's campaign, a ruthless restoration. Seti II, likely feeling his northern legitimacy under threat, embarked on an aggressive campaign after regaining power. Seti II erased Amenmesse's cartouches from temples in Karnak, Medinet Habu, and Luxor. Officials loyal to Amenmesse were disgraced, exiled, or executed. His administrative reforms were reversed, restoring Seti's northern loyalists. This act of historical erasure underscores one truth: the regime feared Amenmesse's influence enough to attempt total obliteration. In ancient Egypt, erasure was reserved only for the most dangerous of rivals. The silent legacy echoes into the 20th dynasty. Despite formal erasure, Amenmesse's memory lived on in subtle ways. Queen Bakatwerel, who reused KV-10, may have been a descendant or part of a faction still loyal to Amenmesse's legacy. Tausret, a queen regnant of the late 19th dynasty, operated amid factions that still remembered Amenmesse's claims, indicating that dynastic instability he embodied did not fully die. Some lineages and priesthoods in Thebes maintained rituals subtly acknowledging Amenmesse's reign. Moreover, the very fractures Amenmesse exposed, the rivalry between Upper and Lower Egypt, the role of Theban loyalty, and the strength of southern claims, laid groundwork for later political strategies during the 20th dynasty, when figures like Ramesses III would harness Theban power once again. The message of Amenmesse, the rightful king in shadows. In Amenmesse's silent survival through history, there is a powerful message. Greatness is not always celebrated in gilded records. Sometimes it survives in erased names, unfinished tombs, and whispered allegiances passed down in priestly sanctuaries. Amenmesse, although denied the full monuments of kingship, embodied the eternal southern spirit of Egyptian kingship. The belief that rightful blood, ancestral memory, and divine destiny could not be fully erased by chisels or scribes. Final reflection. The spirit of Amenmesse and eternal knowledge, to stand against the tide of illegitimacy, to claim the throne not just for personal glory, but for the preservation of ancestral spirit, is a mark of true greatness. Amenmesse's silent reign teaches us that history's greatest victories are not always loud. They live in every soul who dares to remember where they come from, in every legacy that refuses to die, even when erased from the stones. Thus, through Amenmesse's hidden journey, we inherit a greater truth. To know your blood, to rise for your destiny, even if the world would silence you, is to live eternally in the memory of greatness.